What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And yeah, Legend Caesar is going to be dropping, and it's kind of funny because for those of you who have not been in the Treasure Cruise community for, or at least like way back in the day I'm talking about, Treasure Cruise had a character poll where people could go ahead and vote from a specific set of characters to become a legend. There was a poll way back in the day. I think it featured like Sugar, Caesar Clown, Ivankov, and Reiju maybe. It was like a pool of units. And yeah, Caesar was in that pool, and obviously all those legends, all those characters we just talked about, they all have their own Sugo-Fest exclusives. Caesar never got one. And considering like Caesar was like literally the pinnacle villain of a particular arc involving the Straw Hats, it is crazy that we've had to wait this long to get a Legend Caesar. Like, Treasure Cruise came out when the anime and the manga were in Dressrosa, if I remember correctly. So, like, Caesar's been in the game for a long ass time, and it's crazy that it's only up until now that we are getting Legend Caesar. But lo and behold, he is going to be dropping, and the thing about it is that he is going to be a Pirate Rumble legend. So you can only pull him on Rumble Sugo-Fest banners. He is going to be a 20 cost unit in Rumble, which I guess is a good thing as well. And look, what I will say is that when I first initially read his abilities, I was very unimpressed. However, there was one major thing that I was missing with his kit that definitely changes the way that like you kind of perceive the character, because at face value, I think a lot of people would probably say the same as me, is like he doesn't seem that good. But when you really get down into the nitty-gritty and actually see what he does and how it works, I think you'll understand the vision. And this might be one of the most toxic, no pun intended, I guess it was kind of intended, one of the most toxic Rumble characters that you will have to face. So let's go ahead and break him down. So he's a Dex Cerebral driven scientist, Logia, punk, hazard arc character. Now, of course, he does have normal abilities, but of course he's not really, focused around this. The captain ability boosts Cerebral and driven by 5x, boosts damage dealt to enemies inflicted with ignite, paralysis, or any type of poison by 1.25, 1.3 times HP in recovery, quick and tandem slots are matching, allows poison status applying effects to ignore immunity to all status effects, and allows healing 2x over heal. So, like a captain ability that's probably not going to see a ton of play. The fact that you can inflict poison through immunity as a captain is kind of nice. Overhealing is also kind of nice, but it's nothing crazy. The special ability is interesting though. If you have 3 or more scientist characters on the crew, it allows you to get double stacking conditional boost for 1 turn. That's obviously pretty strong. If the crew is inflicted with a poison or a progressive poison, applies a progressive poison to all enemies, which is like the toxic, like the really heavy poison. So you only inflict the enemy with it if you have a poison. It then will state that it will boost damage dealt to enemies inflicted with a progressive poison by 2.75 for 1 turn, and completely remove all poison effects. So there you go. If the crew is inflicted with a paralysis, you apply a paralysis to all enemies for 1 turn that ignores immunity, and boost damage dealt to enemies inflicted with paralysis, and then also reduce 10 turns of paralysis. If you're inflicted with a burn, applies an ignited status to all enemies, which goes through immunity, and then boost damage dealt to enemies inflicted with ignite, and reduces burn duration by 10 turns. So you can kind of see what's going on here. The way that his special works is like, hypothetically, if you're inflicted with paralysis and a burn, you can get like literally self-proccing conditional boosts with himself. But it is based on the debuffs that you are inflicted with. So it is very niche, but there could be very specific niche scenarios where this Caesar Clown is going to be an absolutely busted unit. However, you need to have 3 or more scientist characters on the crew to get the double stacking conditional boost, which is not a very good condition to fulfill, because there's not a lot of good scientist characters in the game. You have the Vegapunks, you have Judge, you have Queen, you have Caesar. There's not really much else to go off of. So that's the only major drawback I see. If this was a much more lenient condition, this might be a really powerful unit, but of course, there's lots of hoops you have to jump through to get this to actually work. 18 turn cooldown is crazy, by the way. Support effect attaching to any cerebral unit just says that once per quest, if you use the special to inflict a poison, it reduces 1 turn of cooldown and then reduces poison duration by 2 turns. A very, like, odd support. Considering we have supports in the game that just straight up remove poison completely, why does he only remove poison by 2 turns? I don't understand it. It should completely remove it in my opinion. Or this should also inflict a poison. Like, I guess, you know, you have to inflict the poison to get this to trigger. It should just be like on special, inflict poison, and then reduce cooldown by 1. And then, like, I don't know, remove poison completely on yourself. Like, this is a pretty weird support, okay? But let's move on to the fun stuff, which of course is going to be his Rumble, okay? So let's go to the Rumble ability first, because the special is the more crazy thing that we need to talk about. So the Rumble ability says that it will apply 6 health, speed, and defense to Dex and Cerebral. Pretty good. And then if there's 3 or more scientists, Logia or Zoan on the crew, reduces 100% special CT on himself on appearance. So essentially, as long as these are fulfilled, when he enters the fight, he just has max special straight away. And this does mean that if he is on the front line, you will start the game with max special, which is a big deal. Then it says if you have all 3 of the tags, he inflicts a level 5 special CT down debuff to all enemies. Also pretty strong. And this is also permanent, so you know, the permanent buffs, permanent debuff, and then getting the max special at the start of the quest. Pretty good. Now the scientist one is kind of rough. Logia and Zoan is a bit more forgiving for sure. But I'm just trying to think like his best teams. Like Mono Cerebral has never really been that great of a team. More often than not, he'll probably be used in a Dex focused squad, and then trying to run Dex characters of these typings, of these tags. I might pull up the database again and we'll have a look at that actually. Okay, so I've just filtered by Dex as well as Zoan, Scientist, and Logia, and we'll see what we got here. So you got like what else? What do we have? I mean, Kizaru is a really good unit, so he could probably be used. You have the Rumble Borsalino as well as a potential option. Rob Lucci is actually a pretty good choice as well. He's been pretty good for Dex teams recently. This Vegapunk, I honestly don't even know what he does. His special, he heals. Oh, yeah, heals 3.5 times recovery, reducing special bind. Yeah, you're probably not using him. You got Blackbeard, which I guess is okay. This York, this is a free-to-play York. No. I mean, you don't have a lot of good options, is what I'm seeing here. Potentially, maybe. Let's hang on. We've got a little bit more to go. Is there actually anything worthwhile here? There's really not a lot. Yikes. Okay, so you don't have a lot to choose from. Maybe if we just go Mono Cerebral. I mean, Sabo, I guess, is okay. You got Rob Lucci, I guess, but he's not the best option for that. Man, okay. So I think team building wise might be tricky, and I think it is confirmed he does not release with any other new rare recruits. It's literally just Caesar debuting by himself. So yeah, I don't know what his best team build is going to be at this current point in time, but do know that you definitely want to fulfill this in order to use him properly. If you don't fulfill this, this character is not going to be as good. Now, as we mentioned, he gets the max special at the start of the quest, or whenever he first appears. Why is this important? Let's have a look at this crazy Rumble special, okay? So, when I first read the special, I completely, avoided the fact that all of these debuffs that he inflicts, they actually last for 100 seconds, meaning they last permanently. So, at a 25-second CT, he gives level 5 attack and speed down to all enemies in a large range, level 4 defense down in a large radial range, level 3 special CT debuff to all enemies in a large radial range. If you have the tags on the crew, inflicts a level 3 damage over time to all enemies for 100 seconds. And then also if you have the tags, you get 100% chance to evade damage over time to any Dex and Cerebral character for 20 seconds. So the fact is, you can start the quest, get this special to launch, immediately level 5 speed, attack, level 4 defense, level 3 CT down, and also level 3 damage over time. All are permanent. When he launches again, which with a 25 CT, you're going to get him to launch again. It's now level 10 attack and speed down, level 8 defense, level 6 CT. And remember, his Rumble special, his passive, is permanently giving level 5. So it means that on the second launch, this is already a level 16 special CT down debuff. Well, of course, it is at a large radial range. He doesn't target all enemies, so you need them to clump up together to get this to work effectively, but it's kind of crazy. The damage over time scaling up to level 6. And then if you get him to launch a third time, again, you can just see this is going to be stacking up a lot. And this is going to make him one of the most disgusting characters to go up against in Rumble, because if you get towards the nitty gritty end of the game, like in the last 30 seconds, and you're inflicted with like a level 20 attack down, you know, you've got like CT down, like level 20, you got like level 15 defense down, like it's just going to be really hard to come back when you have that much going on. Now, of course, as we mentioned, it is only in a large radial range, which is still a very, very good range. But, you know, if you are using him on your side of the field, you could get particularly unlucky, where if characters move out of the range, and then certain characters aren't hit with the debuffs, that could obviously slow down your progress in the game. But the fact that you are consistently inflicting this damage over time is another big deal, because you're passively just going to keep nerfing your opponents. They're going to lose a lot of HP via damage over time. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And if you have ways to, you know, special bind enemies, or ways to confuse them so that they don't launch their special and they are still performing normal attacks, that is where damage over time will begin to be inflicted. So special binds and confusions are going to be the best way to like fully abuse this damage over time mechanic. But with this many debuffs that are going to be inflicted, the damage over time is just kind of like the cream on top. Like it's just extra ability. And this also affects to like resist damage over time. It's kind of like a whatever kind of ability. I guess this is good against opposing Caesars, I guess. The only other character that really comes to mind would be like versus Blackbeard. We know that level 10 damage over time is disgusting, so being able to avoid that, I guess, is kind of cool. But you know, as we said, a little bit niche specifically for him. So that's the breakdown of Caesar Clown. I think he's going to be a pretty good character overall. I do believe I saw the banner and it said it's a 7.5% chance to get a red. I don't know as to the returning Rumble Legends. I think York was going to be there. Considering the character is a driven character, I would like Pika to be there, but I'm assuming that he won't because they just don't like doing that. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what they have in mind for this one. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about this one down below in the comment section. Seems like a pretty disgusting character, but hey, look, New Year's is a month away at this point. I think it would be a really wise decision to conserve your gems. But that's going to wrap it up for me, though. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.